Input map, add jump. Even if it's not needed for the game, it feels weird to not be able to jump in a game. Joy button, sure, that's usually the jump key. If input dot is action just pressed, jump if velocity start is less than dot y, jump speed for impulses, a frame, not a flame. Boink. We've got to jump. Say, for example, this is our velocity. We're moving at this direction, and then the player lets go of inputs. So our desired velocity is now 0. What we're going to do is take the vector between our desired velocity and our current velocity, which is going to be this vector, and we're going to accelerate along that. Oh, you know what? This needs to be times ground accel times delta. We need to multiply our time in there, because otherwise that's going to be very frame rate dependent, which is not good. So we're going to accelerate towards 0. So if we're moving and we don't want to be moving, we're going to accelerate towards 0. Actually, this should not be the accel, it should be the velocity change. So the velocity change, it's going to be the accel direction times the amount of accel times delta. Then if that velocity change is greater than the difference in velocity that we need to actually achieve, then our velocity change is going to equal our velocity diff. That, I think, might work to accelerate us back to 0, or it just doesn't work at all. So I said might work. So that is going to be our direction. It's mostly on the z-axis. Our velocity change is good. Ah, what? No, I did that wrong. That should have just been velocity plus equals velocity diff, not velocity change. I was never actually setting the velocity. Well, there's your problem. That seems like more normal movement. It's behaving like there's no accel. What the heck am I doing wrong here? Accel direction times ground accel times delta. Boy, everything about that line was wrong. Should have been velocity plus equals velocity change. Let's put a more reasonable accel on here and see if that works. Okay, there we go. Divide by 0. Okay. Offset length is 0. I guess if our offset... Well, it seems like it works. I mean, honestly, what I had in there before was probably fine. But since I'm always talking about character movement physics, figured I'd probably try to do correct ones. Var accel is going to be equal to ground accel if on ground, else air accel, normal air accel. All right, I've got like no accel in the air. Do I have an on-ground check here that's preventing me from doing any input? Oh, whoops, I made it 0.5. I meant to make it 5.0. We're going to switch over to a wingsuit movement if you reach a certain velocity. So basically there's going to be a threshold where you cross over and... Actually, let's record some sounds and stuff. We haven't done any sound recording yet. I happen to have something that I think will be good for wingsuit sounds. Just this scrap of tarp that I picked up and I was like, oh, that'll be good for sound effects. We can get some good stuff from that, I think. I kind of want to record a splat sound now for the impact. Got our flarp here. Let's make a nice big kind of patty thing. Oh, those spiked a bit, didn't they? We're gonna drop this down. Sounds too papery. It's not the kind of sound that I'm looking for. Like, that's almost it. I might need to... Let's add an equalizer. Cut down on some of this high frequency stuff. Now that actually is not too bad just by itself. There we go. That's more like what I'm looking for. So if our velocity length is greater than flight start speed, then move mode equals move wingsuits. So we need to actually do the wingsuit movement, but I want to see if this sound actually plays. That sounds like a wingsuit deploying, right? Or a bat cape. Oh, look at this. Nice. our lift is up, and then we've got our velocity going down this way. So then what we're going to do is do the cross product between these two, and then we're going to get this vector pointing toward or away from the screen here. And then we're going to do the cross product between this and that, and then we're going to get that vector, and then we'll project that onto this and see how much lift we should actually get. I don't know if that makes sense. Lift dir equals lift dir dot normalized. See if this does anything. All right, let's try giving some more lifts. Whoop, bonk. Yep, that was the thing I was concerned about. You start accelerating upward and you're just going to keep going. The wingsuit should probably be more of a velocity redirect. Whoa, and I'm gone. Poof. Oh, whoops. Haha, that should have been velocity dot normalized times lift amount. Now I'm just flapping like a bird. So the lift coefficient is... I'm trying to figure out how this turns into a vector. Is L a vector? So why are we accelerating upward when the dot, well, I guess our velocity is still going forward some amount. Or maybe we just need to calculate the drag. Maybe the drag is what we need. Man, what a drag. Hey, yup, tea cake. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I feel like the drag is too much. If I aim down, I should get more lift going.
It is now 6.
Jeez. Am I a physician?
No, of course I don't get physics. I'm not a physician.
Ah, yes. My wonderful bot telling me I should go to bed because it's after 6 a.m., but we're not going to bed now. I'm just going to put the square root of... I don't know what I'm doing. I just want things to feel good. Still getting way too much upward lift. Maybe our lift amount is just still too high. I am going to reduce the drag, reduce the lift, see how this feels. Not quite like a wingsuit, but it is interesting. We're gonna drop this down even more. Maybe not that much. I think our starting point needs to be a bit higher. So let's bring that up there. Because ideally I kind of want to set it up so that you basically have to thread through there. You can't quite get enough lift to get up there. And then if you hit down there, you splat. Oh, interesting. The shadow fades in. Dialing this in is going to be a challenge. Let's see what happens if we just completely remove the drag. Yeah, I feel like at some point we get kind of infinite speed, yeah. Then we float up. So it's like there needs to be something there, but then we just get terminal velocity. I kind of want to be able to like accelerate indefinitely, but without being able to lift indefinitely. I think using real life equations may be not ideal. I feel like I could spend the entire jam just trying to dial in this flight stuff and not get to any other stuff, but none of the other stuff matters if I can't dial in the flight stuff. Arg. Brarg, brarg, brarg. The challenge of a game dev and limited time constraints. I guess we can just increase the drag the more upward you're going, right? So we just do, say, var drag amount. It's gonna be drag amount. And if velocity.y is greater than 0, drag amount is gonna be drag flying up amount. And that is going to be a much higher drag. Similar to what the lift is. So then we can have a good bit of lift if you're going down, but then once you start going up, you slow down. All right, now we're getting a little bit of lift. Still getting a lot of lift. The drag does not seem to be dragging us down because I'm not actually multiplying by drag amount here. I'm multiplying by the constant. So that did absolutely nothing. Variables are a lot more effective when you actually use them. All right, now let's get some lift up. And we just kind of stall out and glide. action just pressed, reset, reset. So now I can yeet myself off and then, well, that doesn't work. Transform equals global transform, GG me. I think I'm tired. It's almost 7 a.m. That should be set to start transform. Let's try that again. That's why it's good to test each little thing, because every component of it can break. All right, there we go. So now we can reset if we mess something up.